Bart will become a basketball star, only to fall prey to fame, his own ego and the schemes of mobster Fat Tony, and worst of all, it will make Milhouse angry. It all starts with the Simpson family trying to sit on the couch. They are so horribly drawn that it looks like if they were made by me, and yes, I draw like a baby, and that's right, it was made by Maggie, who is drawn by Lisa, and then Bart, then Marge, and then finally Homer. The thing is that the silly man pokes his eye. In a documentary-style format, they narrate the rise and fall of Bart Simpson's career, where we see that Bart was involved in many problems related to sports, and he accepts he fixed basketball games. Marge mentions that Bart wasn't perfect, but she never thought he would work with mafia bookies.
I always thought he'd work for gamblers with the mob.
Grandpa makes an appearance in the documentary, as a retired bag boy is having his senile moment talking about his involvement in the war. Then it's Milhouse's turn, and to avoid being recognised, he uses a shadow shot and a voice filter.
Voice is scaring me. I need puppy goo-goo.
So, we reach the initial moment where Bart discovered his talent for sports. It all started with a prank. Bart sent a memo to everyone telling them to wear white clothes for supposed Polar Bear Commemoration Day. Then, he sent another memo to Skinner to wear a floral shirt, in honour of King Kamehameha's birthday. Yeah, that's a Goku reference right there. Later at the bee assembly, they freed a bunch of these, and they attacked Skinner because of shirt.
Willie, kill the bees!
Not till I hear their side of it.
In the middle of his punishment, not knowing how to pass the time, he starts shooting paper balls into the trash. Bart is very good, and Skinner forgets about his punishment, letting him join the basketball team.
A troubled young man who was good at basketball. I'd never heard of such a thing.
And since he was considered a basketball star at school, he got preferential treatment. Even at public pools, where they let him run around the edge.
It's really not that dangerous.
As usual, not everyone appreciated Bart's great talent, and naturally, Lisa had to write an article about the school's star. Bart, since Springfield Elementary, had never won a trophy. They tolerated everything Bart did. At home, Marge also supported him, always there for his practices, doing whatever it took to help him train. But then came fame. It went to his head, and he started believing he was the only one that mattered on the team. Willie quits as the coach to go back to his old job as a mole strangler.
What was that for?
With no coach, Principal Skinner appoints a random parent to coach the team, and, of course, he names Homer as the new coach.
Hey, what the hell is that thing doing in the gym?
Your new coach, everybody.
Bart's fame keeps rising, and he gets many gifts from different teams that want him to play.
Don't look directly at him!
However, Bart's disrespect for authority grows, so much so that his coach and father ends up cleaning all his stuff.
Can you clean that for me, Coach? And those, and that. What are you looking at?
Bart becomes more and more of an exhibitionist, with outrageous celebrations. Homer, being the coach chosen by Bart, kindly asks his son to let his teammates play more, since they're supporting their kids and want to see if they can touch the ball at least in the team photo. Homer, frustrated, tells Bart he'll design a play where Bart will assist others.
Before you strangle me, maybe you should check the scoreboard.
But since Bart kept being disrespectful, Homer benches him, despite the good score being thanks to Bart. On the bench, we see Fat Tony taking an interest in Bart's games. So, we see Fat Tony's appearance in the documentary getting agitated. His lawyer advises him not to get involved because of the ongoing investigation. We then see footage of Fat Tony holding a secret meeting with Bart, and after that, evidence emerges against Bart, showing conversations about something to get back at his father.
No one gets hurt, right?
No, that is the only flaw in the plan.
So, we see one of Bart's games. With 2 minutes left and not being allowed to shoot, time runs out. Bart didn't know he was fixing games, and Lisa appears on camera to mention that Bart didn't realise what he was doing. It's when a player wins the game, but ensures their team doesn't cover the spread. The team is happy, the bookies are happy.
At least you'll let me play my saxophone.
Good thing you...
Headlines show Bart with Fat Tony, along with many other moments of Bart getting out of school detentions for his pranks. Lisa interviews her brother, making him realise he might be committing illegal acts, and when she tells him he's becoming a mafia slave, Bart flatly denies it, despite Lisa's threats, telling Louie that everything was being recorded by a reporter. He ignores her.
See a little girl with futile dreams of fitting in.
Gee whiz, you don't have to be so mean.
In another game, Bart is about to score and win, but first, he mocks his father.
Here's a shot. You're not bald. Your hair left out of embarrassment.
Even though he made the shot and won, Homer didn't care and began his reprimand. Homer finally lets Bart off the hook, exhausted, and tells him to share his side of the story.
Sorry, my side is exclusive to my charity, the American Fart Association.
You little...
After many attempts and chair fights, Homer falls, receiving a blow to the head. Everything starts going wrong for Bart. What he did unknowingly illegal makes Fat Tony give him a small taste of the profits. Bart tells his side, believing that by listening to Fat Tony, those scores would anger Homer, and by keeping the score low, he'd get back at him. But Fat Tony was betting against them in every game. Hearing how stupid Bart was, Maggie arrives to give Bart a few good beatings.
Ow! She didn't mean that. Oh! Ow!
Bart continues recounting the events, saying he felt so scared, he knew what it was like to be Milhouse. Then everything worsened. Fat Tony told Bart to lose the final game so he could profit from it. Everyone in Springfield already knew about Bart's dealings with the Mafia, showing their contempt with signs saying, The game starts in the best way possible, with Bart playing like the great player he is. We see Nelson's involvement as he invites his dad to watch the game, giving him a free ticket. The commentators note that when Nelson's dad showed up, he scalped the ticket and left again.
Nothing but net! Which is what my mom wears in the strip club.
As Mo says, things get a bit weird in the third quarter. Bart suffers a serious foul, but it's from one of his teammates. Milhouse comments that the Mafia caught up with him too, and by taking his bobblehead doll, forced him to do what he did. It all gets cleared up during a timeout, and Bart regrets what he's done. The game ends with Bart's team winning the final. Fat Tony, seeing the bad outcome for himself, reaches into his jacket, leaving everyone terrified.
Is he going for a gun? Oh.
Get me a gun.
But everything was resolved thanks to Lisa, who stopped Tony before he could take revenge. In her interview, Lisa proclaims herself the hero of the story. She explains how she investigated Fat Tony and discovered that when he was young, he played on a girls' basketball team.
One thing a mafia boss doesn't want known, it's that he was the third-string shooting guard.
Tony strikes a deal with Lisa so she won't tell anyone about his embarrassing past, and in exchange, he forgives Bart's betrayal. Everything turns out fine for Bart, and the family says goodbye to everyone, noting that Bart met a kid even bigger than him and realised he wasn't that good at basketball. Tony returned to the game he loved and confronted his old nemesis, and Stephen Curry hits an insane shot at Skinner's coffee. At the end, we find out the narrator of the documentary was none other than Nelson's dad.
Papa!
We're a family again, just long enough to take this picture.
This was a great episode, and it was funny how Maggie was so aggressive with Bart. She could definitely become a menace to society, like the time the Simpsons were kicked out of Springfield, where we see an out-of-control Maggie. If you want to see what happens, click on this video next. But before, don't forget to leave your like and subscription.